Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from Mamaroneck High School. This is Ted Magram with Steve Anastas coming to you from Palmer Avenue Gym. Today's battle is between the Mamaroneck Tigers and the Scarsdale Raiders. Today, Mamaroneck is coming off a tough loss against Harrison High School. They look for this to be a bounce-back game for them as they have a tough slate up ahead.
Yeah, as you said, Steve, their game against Harrison really just wasn't looking good. Alex Arula, one of their key shooters, just wasn't getting anything falling for him. Dean Jalusha also suffered a pretty nasty gash on his head that affected his shooting throughout the game. Luckily, Dean didn't need stitches, and he can bring it for today against Scarsdale Raiders.
It was a very heated matchup against Harrison. Unfortunately, they weren't able to overcome the deficit that they gave up in the beginning of the game. There's no way the intensity level can get as high today, especially considering how easily the Tigers handled the Raiders in their last matchup earlier this month. Their size inside overpowered the Raiders, and the outside shooting for the Raiders just was not falling, which made it very difficult for them to score against the Tigers. Today, they definitely want to bounce back with a victory because coming up, they've got a huge matchup against several tough key opponents.
Yeah, in the next coming weeks, Mamaroneck has to play New Rochelle twice. They have to play White Plains, and of course they have to play the best team in the section, which is Mount Vernon Knights,
exactly.
which they lost by 18 the last time. So it's a good game to play to get out of the way before they can focus their attention to these death row teams.
This is one of the more athletic Mamaroneck Tigers teams that they've had in many years. A few years ago, they had a very successful team. They went all the way through the sectional playoffs. They're looking to try and have a repeat performance of that. They were able to keep it to a 3-point deficit against Mount Vernon. They'll look to work out the kinks in this game, try and get well against the Raiders so that they're ready for that foursome of tough game against those three tough opponents. So coming to you from Palmer Avenue Gym, we'll come back shortly with the lineup and introductions.
Introduce the starting lineups of both teams. First, let's meet the Scarsdale Raiders. At one guard, a junior, number 30, Sam Squadron. At another guard, a junior, number 20, Caleb Crone. At one forward, a senior, number 21, Will Eisler. At the other forward, a senior, number 1, Joey Katz. And at the center position, a senior, number 32, Christian Landgrava. Head coach John Fell, assisted by Ted Carver, the Scarsdale Raiders. And now let's meet your Mamaroneck Tigers. At one guard, a junior, number 3, Miles Button. At another guard, a senior, number 5, Jack Udill.
about in the pregame, the size advantage definitely goes to the Tigers, so we'll see how Scarsdale's able to handle that and if their three-point shot is falling today. Opening tip goes to Will Gidden, and Dean DeLucia will bring it up court.
Yeah, and as I said in the opening of the game, Dean DeLucia had a lot of trouble with his shot, and hopefully against Scarsdale, he can get it back.
Oh, a nice running left-hander from Miles Houghton gets us started off with the Tigers on the board with 2 points.
Yeah, Miles Houghton is a starter of the team. He's a junior, and he really has an athletic ability that most kids in high school do not.
Definitely. Sam Squadron brings it up for the Raiders, and Christian Landgraba able to drain the baseline jumper.
Yeah, it's a nice little shot, probably about 12 feet away. So Will Gidden makes the shot from up close.
Yeah, Will Gidden able to get the position on Landgraba and able to convert. So it is 4-2 Tigers. Raiders employing the weave at the top of the key, trying to find some open shooters. Squadron gives it to Landgraba, and there's nothing there. Penetrates with the left hand, and Houghton able to knock it away. Parkinson with the steal.
Yeah, and Miles Houghton has those active hands on defense. Against Scarsdale last time, I think he recorded 6 steals.
And he had 6 steals as well in the victory over Rhinebeck in the Tiger tournament. So he is really a steal machine, anticipating those passing lanes. Tigers unable to convert on that possession, so Caleb Crone brings it into the front court for the Raiders. Another baseline jumper for Landgraba, off the side of the rim, no good. And Jack Budil bringing it into the front court for the Tigers.
And Jack Budil had his struggles last year.
Miles Houghton, sorry, drains the jumper, pulling up off the quick dribble.
Great
You
shot.
were saying about Jack Budil.
Jack Budil, he had his troubles as a shooter last year. You know, he was struggling off the bench, but this year I think that he has that confidence as a senior, can really bring a lot of talent to the squad.
So we'll see how the stat books reflect that earlier possession with Houghton tipping the ball away, if that will count as a steal. But that was definitely a steal for Miles Houghton right there. So he has 1, maybe 2 steals, and we're not even 3 minutes.
Oh, and it's 3!
And it's 3 for Houghton. Converts again, so very quickly. The Tigers out to the fast 10-2 lead over the Raiders. John Feld calls a quick timeout for Scarsdale, and we'll be back in just a moment. So Michael Rolfe checks into the game for the Raiders, along with Matt Berger, as you hear on the PA announcer. Squadron is at the top of the key. Almost another steal for the Tigers. Dean DeLucia with the fast hands. No good for the Tigers, and Parkinson with the rebound tries to outlet the ball to Budil. Unable to convert on the pass, so it remains Raiders ball.
That was just a silly pass from Parkinson. He should have just held on to it, collected himself, and waited for a smarter pass instead of pushing the tempo. They're up 10-2. There's no need to push the tempo every single possession. No point in throwing it away that time.
Yep. Caleb Crone pulls up. Shot and the foul. So he will go to the line for the traditional 3-point conversion attempt.
And a player needs a lot of concentration when they're making a shot after they've been hit, because it can really alter their shot.
That was definitely an impressive move from Caleb Crone, able to pull up off the dribble, fool his defender, and he sinks the free throw.
First personal, teams first.
So it's now 10-5 Tigers. Will Gidden gets the shot and the foul. The traditional 3-point conversion right back at the Raiders.
Yeah, you love to see that, especially with Will Gidden. He is very good on his fundamentals, and you know, it's great to see big man go to the line, working it down low and really attacking the paint.
One thing we've seen all season long from Will Gidden is that it is very hard to move him off of his spot, which enables him to effectively get the kind of shots that he's looking for. He misses on the extra free throw. The Tigers were able tip the ball around, but they were not able to collect it. The Raiders come into the front court, and a foul was committed by Alex Parkinson. So the Raiders will take the ball out of bounds. Inbounding the ball will be Caleb Crone. Tyrone gets Budill up in the air, but decides not to shoot it. The ball moves around the outside. Raiders unable to find any shots. So Squadron will reset the offense at the top. Matt Berger goes around the pick, and Will Gidden steps into the path of the dribbler and commits the blocking foul. So it'll be inbounding from the sideline, from the timeline for the Raiders.
And it's quite clear that Mamaroneck is just the dominant athletic team already in these first 4 minutes of play. Just they're getting to the spot a lot quicker than Scarsdale is, and they're really pushing Scarsdale around the outside and not really letting them get into the paint, which is Scarsdale's game plan.
Caleb Crone took an extra step or two on that shot attempt, so the traveling violation gives the ball over to the Tigers. Yes, Ted, they're trying to execute that three-man weave at the top. The problem is with the athleticism of the Tigers squad, they're able to recover on each of those pass handoff attempts, which neutralizes the Raiders' efforts.
And the Raiders got a couple of shots to fall in the corner because of the height, obviously, and you can't have your big man that far away from the basket, but they really can't, their point guard really can't get any penetration. He's stopped around the free throw line every time.
Budill penetrates in the lane, pulls up, loses control of the ball, so he gets it out to DeLucia, who takes the jumper, no good. Budill able to get the rebound. Gidden gets his rebound and puts it back for the score. Score is now 14-5 Tigers.
Alcarula about to check in.
Oh, so that will be another steal for Miles Houghton. Brings it into the front court and decides to settle up a little bit. Waits for his teammates, and now they're going to execute the offense. Houghton has the three-point shot, in and out. Gidden able to tap the ball, but no one is there for the tip. So it will be a team rebound for the Raiders as Alec Arula checks into the game. You know, Ted, that Alec is just chomping at the bit to make up for his poor performance in the tournament final against Harrison. He played so well against Rhinebeck and is definitely looking to bounce back in today's game against the Raiders.
Yeah, and I mean, I really hope that Alex Arula can bounce back because he is a key component to this Mamaroneck Tigers team. And if he has his shot flowing, it just makes everything run a lot smoother, and the team just looks a lot better.
Agreed. Joey Katz able to penetrate around, gets the ball to Michael Rolfe, who was unable to convert on the inside drive. Houghton has the ball in the right corner, gets the ball to Budill. Three-pointer is no good. Houghton right there to clean up the mess. Alex Parkinson able to pick up his miss and then put it in. Parkinson with the putback.
Yeah, this Mamaroneck team has already had a ton of second opportunities, and they really are beating Scarsdale on all aspects of this game.
It's that combination, Ted, of size and athleticism, which is too much for the Raiders to handle right now. An 11-point deficit for the Raiders. Defensive foul, blocking called on Jack Budill. So the Raiders will take it from the side again. 14 fouls for the Raiders. They could be in the bonus pretty soon if they're not careful.
Yeah, Mamaroneck just has to relax on defense. These Raiders really, there's no need to foul them. They're not going anywhere, especially when they're outside the arc. Just keep your hands to yourself. Wait till they get into the paint to start fouling if it's necessary.
Well said, Ted, well said. Oh, Will Eisler able to get that ball to fall off the back rim. Ref calls for a timeout quickly as the ball gets kicked out of the way of the Tigers player. Parkinson will take a seat, and Max Kaufman is coming in for Alex. With Dean DeLucia out for Emerson Genovese, Alec Arula takes over the point guard duties. Arula passes to Genovese for the three-pointer. No good. Will Gidden obviously does not go for that rebound because he would have been called for the loose ball foul on that play. Ball is short off the front rim for Eisler, and Houghton brings the ball into the front court. Quickly gets it out to Genovese.
Houghton seems to be doing everything for this Mamaroneck team during this first quarter. He has rebounds, he has steals, he has points, he has assists.
Once again, Will Gidden overpowers the Raiders defender and puts in the bank shot for the score. 18-7, under 1 minute left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Will Gidden is just no match for these Raiders big men. He's just bigger, taller, and has a better fundamental game.
Genovese with the smart play, dribbling through the traffic and drawing the defensive blocking foul by the Raiders to get that foul total up to 2. One thing that was happening in the tournament final against Harrison was that Harrison was fouling left and right. So the Tigers were in the bonus and even the double bonus in both the first and second half. Unfortunately, they were not able to convert for the successful victory. However, they were able to keep the game close as a result. We'll see how they're able to utilize it here against the Raiders.
And you know, in that Harrison game, with the fouls racking up, it really throws Mamaroneck out of its groove. They can't get anything going, and that could also attribute to the poor shots by Alex Arula, Dean DeLucia, and
personal team's 5th.
So that's 5 personal fouls now, team fouls rather, for the Tigers. Raiders inbound the ball from the far timeline. Ball goes into Matt Berger with 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And Scarsdale's looking to hold on for one last shot, and they get a shot.
Berger able to penetrate. Gidden had to come over and help out, and Eisler able to convert on the pass.
And Emerson Genovese called for the travel.
With 8.6 seconds left, we will see how the Raiders are able to try and execute an offensive possession here. Caleb Crone to Michael Wolf for the assist and the bank shot. Cuts the lead to 7 points as the clock expires at the end of the first quarter. So with the score 18-11 Tigers, we'll be back in just a moment. And we're back for the start of the second quarter. The score is 18-11 Tigers. Scarsdale will have possession of the ball. It was a back and forth first quarter, Ted. Scarsdale was able to execute a few things successfully, which kept them in the game. Otherwise, it was pretty well dominated by the Tigers.
Well, with Mamaroneck's first line in, they really ran up the score pretty early on in the game. But once you saw the substitutions come in, it became a more back and forth game, and that's when Scarsdale was able to cut the lead to just 7, where it was up at one point to 11 with the starters in.
So Mamaroneck overall still in control of the game. Scarsdale trying to execute that 3-man weave, squadron into the lane, and able to get the runner to fall. So now it's a 5-point deficit for the Raiders. DeLucia back in the game to start the second quarter. Looks like we have the starters on the floor, except for Gidden. We have Max Kaufman in for Gidden. DeLucia in the corner, swings the ball back around.
And right now, Mamaroneck has a pretty shooter-heavy offense, and with 4 shooters and Parkinson in the center. So let's see what they can get.
DeLucia for 3, splash! Drains the 3-point goal.
Dean DeLucia, 3-point goal.
The officials are looking to call together the 2 big men. I guess there's a little bit too much banging going on under the boards. He doesn't want things to escalate out of control like they were in the Harrison game on Saturday night. He probably had received some word about how that game went and is trying to snuff things out before they get out of control.
And although player safety has definitely become a key component in basketball games, it's just not the same as it was in the 90s when there was these big centers that were so aggressive and really made it fun to watch, where they would just knock players on their butt when they would come into the paint. And the game's really evolved for player safety.
Very true, Ted. Alex Parkinson able to use his quick reflexes to get his hand on that, knock it out of bounds. So Scarsdale resets. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Squadron at the top gets it out to Crone, no good with the three-point shot. DeLucia gets the ball out to Houghton on the fast break. Mamaroneck does not have numbers, so they bring it back up to the top of the key. DeLucia again for three, no good. Squadron, fast break the other way for the Raiders. Off glass, no, but the Raiders, Michael Rolfe able to convert on the putback and the foul.
He's fouled. And he'll shoot.
Scarsdale's definitely looking to win this game, coming out, trying to compete. Clearly a much different game than the last time that they matched up in Scarsdale.
Definitely the case, and you have to figure with the tough schedule that they have to face, playing the same Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, White Plains powerhouses, this is a game they want to try and capitalize on and get a victory under their belts. They're coming into the game at 3-8, so they definitely want to try and get some more wins under their belt. Earlier in the season, they had the lead in several games, but were not able to maintain control. So they've obviously been practicing on trying to be more aggressive at the start of the game, and then we'll see how they handle it in the second half. Kaufman unable to convert on that baby jump shot, and the Raiders into the front court. Joey Katz on that three-point attempt comes up short, and Parkinson snags the rebound. Jack Budil gets it into Max Kaufman, out to Houghton, around to DeLucia, and Scarsdale recovers quickly, so the Tigers unable to execute. Oh, blocking foul by Rolfe. That'll be the third team foul for the Raiders.
Scarsdale foul on Michael Rolfe. His first personal, team's third.
Alec Arula now coming back in for Miles Houghton. Looks like Coach Carver is definitely trying to get Arula jump-started in this game.
Yeah, and Alec Arula really hasn't done anything, but he hasn't done anything bad or good as he passes the ball off.
Three-point attempt by Budil, off the mark. Caleb Crone has the ball on the right side, passes it inside to Landgrave, and he's able to convert. Coach Carver not happy with the defensive effort. The linchpin of this team is not coming through for the Tigers, and they've cut it to a 4-point deficit the Raiders have. So things are a little tighter than I think Coach Carver wants them to be. Calls timeout to try and settle his defense down and go over their principles of how to execute.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with Mamaroneck, they're just being lazy on defense at the moment. They're letting Scarsdale cut in. They weren't doing that in the first quarter, and if they can regain that momentum that they had in the first quarter in defense, I think that the score can easily escalate over 10 points again.
It is similar to baseball in the idea of the second time a pitcher goes through a lineup. The familiarity is there, the confidence builds for the hitter. I think that's what we're experiencing here for the Scarsdale Raiders. They've seen the Tigers before. Their quickness and athleticism is not something they were used to. Mamaroneck was not quite as strong or athletic a team last season, so they were probably taken somewhat by surprise by that. So they were more prepared for it this time round. Oh, DeLucia with a beautiful acrobatic effort, gets his own rebound and puts it in for the score.
Yeah, that's where Scarsdale really can't compete. They don't have any guard that can match the athleticism of any of the 5 guards that Mamaroneck puts on the floor throughout this game.
Scarsdale passing the ball quickly around the outside. Some sharp passes from the Raiders. Gets it into Landgrave, and he converts again. Some great offensive passing execution from the Raiders. Continues their offensive productivity. Alec Arula at the top and on the wing gets it to Budil. Back to Arula. He looks to create. Nothing there, and so DeLucia will set back up from the left wing.
Yeah, Mamaroneck's offense is looking a little stagnant right now, while Scarsdale, on the other hand, is really getting the ball moving very crisply, crisp passes, and they're finding the open man and they're capitalizing on it.
Beautiful pass from Budil into Parkinson, who the lefty goes to the right hand, going glass and converting for the 6-point lead.
Such great passing by Scarsdale at the moment.
You can see a very clear strategy of the 3-man pass with Landgrabe in the center at the high post. Unable to convert, sorry, so Arula brings it into the front court. DeLucia with the sloppy pass, and Scarsdale with the easy lay-in.
I think that Scarsdale's philosophy at the moment is what most soccer coaches teach at a young age, that the ball moves faster than the player, and if they can get the ball to move around to where the Mamaroneck players are not, they can capitalize, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
Oh, Scarsdale was not ready for that pass from Giddon. They would have had another steal. Giddon right underneath to collect the missed shot from DeLucia. Unable to convert. Parkinson grabs his rebound and is fouled on the shot. So he will go to the line for 2.
And Dean DeLucia playing it off as a pass.
always the easy fallback for the point guard. Yes, that was a pass to the inside. That was not a shot.
Parkinson is shooting 2 shots. Number 3, Miles Houghton replaces Dean DeLucia for Mamaroneck.
Parkinson unable to convert on either of those 2 free throws. So with 3 minutes left, it is 25-21 Tigers. Squadron gets the ball over to Joey Katz, over to Caleb Crone around the outside. Caleb Crone with the 3-pointer, no good. And Rolf able to get the, nope, he does not get the rebound, but the ball bounces to Landgrabe, and he is fouled on his shot attempt.
Yeah, and Scarsdale really...
Oh no, I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
It was a jump
Looks
ball.
like it was a jump ball, and so possession will go to the Tigers.
And Scarsdale, as you said in the pregame, they live and die by the 3, and right now they have taken 5 shots from behind the arc, and none of them have seemed to fall, where when they work it down low from the crisp passes, they seem to really make a dent in the Mamaroneck defense. So I think they should step away from the 3-point line. And
well, it's an interesting thing, Ted. You know, when you play the outside-in game and the outside isn't working, just the inside is working. Up, 3-point attempt from Houghton, no good. Remains Tigers ball. But to your point, the inside game is working. You can't abandon the 3 entirely, but you are correct. They should definitely look to try and execute those shots from the passes around to Landgrabe and then inside to the cutting Rolf and Eisler.
well, in high school football, we were coached to basically, if the play is working, keep on doing it.
Right.
And I think the same should be in the Scarsdale
In effect for the Raiders, definitely. You deal with the ball on the right wing. Giddon sets the pick for him. He looks to create off that. Arula with the shot is too strong off the glass. And Crone brings the ball in the front court, gets it to Rolf. He scores. So it's a 2-point game with 1:35 left in the first quarter. 25-23 Mamaroneck.
Yeah, hopefully Mamaroneck can find their groove soon, because Scarsdale is really cutting into this lead that they set up early.
Officials timeout.
I guess Miles Houghton turned his ankle or something. I didn't see what happened there, Ted. Did you?
I did not catch what happened, but it looks like he's in a little bit of pain, limping to the sideline, and hopefully the trainers can get him ready to go for the start of the second half.
You know, there really is not much you can do. You can wear the highest high tops you can find. You can wrap your ankle pregame. You still can turn that ankle, and it's going to hurt. Up the pass to Arula. He penetrates. Oh, no call on the play. Arula goes to the ground, and Scarsdale goes the other way. Caleb Crone rattles it home. And the score is tied as we approach 1 minute left in the half. Pass out to Budil. He looks for a shot, cannot get it.
passes it off to Arula.
Scarsdale's really come to life in the second quarter. They're playing better defense, better offense, just really outgunning Mamaroneck.
And Mamaroneck seems a little flat at this moment, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, they try and get that ball inside to Parkinson. It's deflected, and a jump ball is called. Possession will go to the Raiders. So with 42.5 seconds left in the first half, the score is tied, and the Raiders have possession of the ball. They will probably look to try and hold for one possession and give the Tigers just a few seconds left to execute their own offense. They could always try and go for a 2-for-1, but it doesn't look like they will.
Yeah, there's just not enough time for a 2-for-1 at this point.
Nope. They have Genovese chasing around, and Squadron splash scores from the lead. Sam Squadron with the three-pointer gives the Raiders the 3-point lead.
That inside-out game is coming alive on the 3 side.
And Genovese able to fire back with a 2-point jumper of his own from the right. With 6 seconds left, Squadron brings the ball baseline, passes it to Landgraba. No good on the jump shot from the free throw line extended, and that's how the first half will end. 28-27 Raiders. A tough half for the Tigers. They expected to be a little bit more effective against the Raiders. I'm sorry. But Coach Carver will definitely have some strategy tips for them, and we'll come back in the second half. I suspect a much more energetic effort.
Yeah, hopefully Moretti can come out in the second half like they did in the first quarter and just take a quick lead, because right now things are just not looking good at all ends of Moretti. Offense, defense, whatever, you name it. Moretti needs to regain that confidence that they had so that they can come out with the win.
We'll be back in just a moment with action for the second half. And we're back with the second half action. The Scarsdale Raiders lead the Mamaroneck Tigers 28-27. A surprising turn of events here as we start the second half. What do you expect to see from the Tigers in the second half?
Well, I expect them to come out with a ton of energy in the second half. They really need to turn things around, because this would just be such a bad blemish on their record if they lose to the Scarsdale Huguenots, a team that they handled with such ease the last time that they played.
The Tigers have an overall record of 7-5, while the Raiders are 3-8 on the season. So you know that the Tigers want to try and secure this victory today. Hopefully they can start out with the same type of intensity and execution as they did to start the game. So DeLucia takes the ball into the front court. Tigers going right to left from our view. Ball knocked away from Jack Budill's hands, out of bounds into the Tigers bench. Miles Houghton will inbound the ball from the right side, right in front of his bench.
In our pregame, we said that we thought this game was going to be a cakewalk for the Tigers, and we thought it was going to be an easy game that they could really not think about it, and so they could just start thinking about Mount Vernon and New Rochelle and White Plains. But clearly, Scarsdale had different intentions coming into this game.
Oh, nice rebound from Parkinson, puts it back, right-handed again. The ambidextrous play from Alex Parkinson sparks the offense to start the second half. Tigers take the lead back 29-28. Yeah, I'd agree. You know, they definitely have a murderer's row of opponents coming up in New Rochelle, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, White Plains, and over their next 4 games. So you know that they want to try and capture this victory, if for no other reason than to try and hedge their bets for their seeding in the upcoming sectional playoffs, while as the Raiders are fighting for their playoff lives. So you can see the extra motivation and intensity from them. I would be shocked if I didn't see a much higher level of intensity from the Tigers here in the second half.
And Scarsdale doesn't want to go out with a fight, so their intensity level is going to be matched from the second quarter. Hopefully they can make this a very entertaining game, as it's been so far.
Beautiful pass from DeLucia, unable to convert, but the one consistent for the Tigers today is Alex Parkinson's dominance on the boards. Comes up with another loose ball and is fouled on the putback attempt, so he will be at the line for 2.
Yeah, and Alex Parkinson isn't a D1 athlete for nothing. He's clearly showing his athletic ability on the boards.
Back rim on the first one, able to convert, so Parkinson is 0 for 3 from the line so far. We'll see if he can knock this next one down to give the Tigers a 2-point lead. Rolf in the game for Eisler. Oh, front rim, back rim, front rim again. Just unable to get that ball to fall. So Squadron has the ball on the right wing, brings it up to the top of the key, and looks to set up the offense. Calls out the play for the Raiders. Sounds like the Tigers know exactly what they're calling, because you can hear them barking it just as much as the Raiders were. Houghton does not look to be affected by that ankle that he rolled in the first half. DeLucia able to stop the penetration from Squadron. Oh, but there I saw a little bit of Houghton favoring that ankle on the defensive effort there, but a loose ball foul by the Raiders gives the Tigers the ball.
Yeah, Houghton didn't look 100% on the last play, but he feels that he's able to compete, and we're happy that he's able to compete.
Definitely.
Hopefully nothing bad happens to the ankle throughout the rest of the remainder of this game. But
it's that delicate balance between needing the victory here and needing Houghton for the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Crone able to steal the ball. Squadron goes in for the lay-in.
Yeah, Scarsdale's had a lot of fast break points in the past 2 quarters.
Which is how they regained that, how they gained the lead, and now how they've retaken it. So it looks to be a back and forth affair is going to be what we're in store for here in the third quarter. Up. Houghton pulls up for 3, splash with the 3-point goal from the right top of the key. Pulls up very casually and drains the 3-pointer like it's nothing.
Yeah, he had some swagger in that last shot.
Udil and Houghton switch off on that defensive assignment. Houghton able to gather the rebound. He looks to take it coast to coast, dishes it off to DeLucia. Gets it into Gidden. Gidden with the travel. Once again, a problem that plays Gidden in the in the Harrison Tiger Tournament final. Looking to convert on the inlet pass. Moves his feet as he goes for the shot.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to say the exact same thing.
I apologize, Ted.
It's completely fine. As a proverb once said, great minds think alike.
Exactly. Crone from the top of the key, no good on the 3-pointer, and Houghton with the rebound. Hands it off to DeLucia, who gets it quickly into the front court to Budil. Budil back to DeLucia to Houghton at the top of the key. He penetrates, twists his body, contorts his body. No foul called. The ball is knocked out of bounds, remains Tigers ball.
Yeah, I think Miles Houghton's ankle really isn't that big of an issue for him because he is contorting his body.
The adrenaline seems to be taking care of that. The foul and the shot for Will Gidden on the inbound pass. A beautiful play executed by the Tigers.
Will Gidden's nickname should be the big fundamental, like some famous NBA stars.
Yes, absolutely. Borrowing Shaq's nickname for Sir Tim Duncan. Gidden able to convert the traditional 3-point play, and Mamaroneck takes the lead. Or retains the lead and furthers it. It's now a 5-point lead for the Tigers.
Mamaroneck has really come out with that adrenaline that they needed.
Blocking foul by the Raiders, by the Tigers point guard, Dean DeLucia.
These refs are just not having any nonsense throughout this game, calling the slightest of touches.
No, and I will say it was the body fouls that really got the energy level ratcheted up in the Harrison game. So I suppose that's not all that shocking to see that type of foul called. Maybe in that play, you could hear the groans from the fans who were not happy with that call whatsoever. Crone with the shot, unable to convert. Parkinson goes to the ground, gets the rebound, yet again dominating the rebound statistics. DeLucia dishes it off to Budil, gets it in to Kidden, to DeLucia, short on the three-point attempt.
Yeah, Dean DeLucia's having a little bit of trouble with this three-point shot. But other than that, his passing has been pretty crisp.
Caleb Crone converts on the other side, so it is a three-point lead for the Tigers. Oh, lazy pass from Budil. They are lucky that Joey Katz did not come up with that steal. Budil will inbound the ball here with 27 seconds left on the shot clock. Plenty of time to get their offense set. We're approaching 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 35-32 Tigers.
Some good passing by Mamaroneck.
Kid no good, but Parkinson able to get the putback, not able to convert, and he's hugged up and fouled under the basket. Obviously, the Raiders knew they had no chance of stopping him from scoring. The only chance was to send him to the line. And considering the fact that he is 0 for 4 from the line, oh, look at that, and it's not even going to be on the shot. They're going to call that foul on the floor, a non-shooting foul, so the Tigers will inbound under the basket.
Yeah, Alex Parkinson's rebound number just keeps on going up. He's been crashing the boards left and right throughout this game, and maybe he can hit 20 by the end of this game.
He's definitely approaching double digits if he's not already there. Oh, nice dish from DeLucia to Parkinson, converts on the bank.
DeLucia.
The bank is open for Alex Parkinson as he converts that beautiful assist from DeLucia. Joey Katz penetrates in the lane to Eisler, and Eisler tries to avoid the travel by getting the ball over to Michael Rolfe. Rolfe was not expecting that pass whatsoever, and the ball is out of bounds. DeLucia calls the play sent in from Coach Carver. 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. 5-point lead for the Tigers. Houghton for three from the side. Splash! Extends the lead to 8 points, and just as we were talking about coming back from the halftime break, the Tigers able to capitalize with more athleticism and more aggressiveness. It's an 8-point lead for the Tigers. We'll be back in just a moment. So we're back after the timeout, and it's 40-32 Tigers, and the Raiders bring the ball into the front court. Sam Squadron at the point guard duties for the Raiders. Matt Berger drives right, unable to get around the granite rock that is Will Gidden inside. Squadron back out to the top of the key to Caleb Crone. Crone gets Landgrave to set a pick, doesn't use it, tries to pass it through. It sails clear through the lane. Landgrave not ready for that pass. Tigers ball.
Yeah, it seems that Scarsdale just isn't on the same page at the moment. Pass is going awry. They can't really get into that nice flow that they had at the end of the first half.
That three-man weave with the Landgrave at the top of the key, where they pass it back and forth to the three of them, into Landgrave, back out to a player, maybe down low. DeLucia off with the three-pointer, able to tap it to Parkinson for another rebound. DeLucia again from the corner, no good. Gidden this time with the rebound, and they'll set it up again. Carver asking for the team to settle the ball and start the offense anew.
Although Dean DeLucia's shots are not falling, the rest of his offense and defense does not seem to be phased as he tries again and misses. But Dean DeLucia, other than shooting, he's still playing pretty well.
Definitely. Foul on that play. Looks to be on the shot.
Second personal, team's third.
It's one great thing, Ted, to your point about being the point guard, is even if your shot is not falling, there are so many areas where you can be effective, and DeLucia is doing that here. He's controlling the offense, he's keeping things settled and calm for the Tigers, and he's definitely being very active on the defensive end. Crone unable to convert on that free throw attempt.
Yeah, as a point guard, you really have to be, your strongest ability has to be your mental game, and being able to block out what you're doing poorly so that you can boost the good things that you are doing on the court is a key component to being a good point guard in any league in the basketball world.
Well said, Ted, well said. Houghton gets the ball over to Budil. Back over to Houghton. Inside to Parkinson. To DeLucia. Looks like they're trying to execute a similar type of play as the Raiders, and they do. DeLucia penetrates in the lane with the running one-hander, gets it to rattle home as we approach 30 seconds left in the third quarter. The Tigers have the 9-point lead.
Ooh, I'm surprised that was not called to reach on him.
He was playing very aggressive defense there. And there's the makeup call right there. Called on Budil. Caleb Crone was passing it off to Michael Rolfe. Only 14 fouls, so the ball will be taken out underneath by the Raiders.
Team's fourth.
Yeah, Mamaroneck has really cut back on fouls this time.
Replaces Jack Budil.
Splash, three-point goal for Caleb Crone from the corner on the inbound pass. Cuts the lead down to 6 as we approach 10 seconds left in the quarter. DeLucia settles it up top. And the bench helps out the players on the floor. Houghton from the corner with the 3. No good. Matt Berger with the full court attempt. Comes up short.
Third quarter here at Mamaroneck. The score, your Tigers, 42. Scarsdale,
So much better play from
36.
both teams in the third quarter. However, Mamaroneck able to execute even better than the Raiders. Retake the lead. It's 42-36, and we'll be back in just a moment. And we're back for the final period here at Palmer Avenue Gym. Ted, it's a 6-point deficit for the Raiders. What do you see from them coming into this last quarter?
Well, I'd like to see the Raiders get back to the ball movement like they just did here on that great inside pass.
To Landgraber, yes.
Christian Landgraber.
Cuts it to a 4-point deficit for the Raiders.
But I'm really intrigued to see what Miles Harding can do because he's really been the catalyst in this game, getting everything done from rebounds, steals, points, you name it. He's been active in every play as he moves around the court.
Oh, nice entry pass from Parkinson. Gets the foul and the shot. It's good and it counts.
Parkinson.
Parkinson will be at the line for the 3-point play.
And he'll shoot.
The Tigers have the starting lineup and Jack Green in the game for Jack Budil. We'll see if he can get on the board from the free throw line here.
Comes up
Off to the
short.
left, yep, and it is 44-38, Tigers.
Pass foul on Michael Wolf. His third personal.
Squadron hands the ball off to Crone. Crone penetrates, Houghton goes to the ground. Crone unable to convert, and Parkinson again with the rebound.
Yeah, Alex Parkinson really dominating the boards right now as he sets a bad screen and it's called against him.
That's one of those tough kind of fouls where his feet were planted, but the derriere moved a little bit, and that's all that it takes when you're 6'5" and you've got that kind of size advantage on the defensive player. You really do need to maintain your positioning both down low and up top. Or the middle, as the case may be. Squadron drives the lane, turns around, pulls up, and drains the baby jump shot.
Nice little move from Sam Squadron, cutting the lead to just 4.
DeLucia calls the play. He stands at the timeline, passes it off to Green. Green looks to penetrate, gets it into Gidden, to Parkinson. He hesitates and is fouled on the shot, so he will be back at the line for 2 more free throws.
Yeah, Parkinson has struggled from the line already, missing 5 shots. Hopefully he can go 2 for 7 after this trip to the line.
Definitely could use these 2 points right here. It's a 4-point lead for the Tigers. And there he goes. Sort of like just how when a player has gone 10 for 10 from the line and you mention it, and that's when they miss a free throw. We mentioned they hadn't hit a free throw, and there he goes and makes one. Short on the other attempt. 1 for 2, makes it a 5-point game. And Crone able to convert on the other side. races down into the offensive end and hits the bank shot for the Raiders. DeLucia methodically brings the ball up court for the Tigers. Approaching 6 minutes left. Houghton from the corner. Splash! 3-point goal.
I don't know about you, Steve, but Miles Houghton is my player of the match thus far.
Definitely. He jumped out to the early dominance and is retaking it now here. I would say Parkinson might be for all the rebounding and defense that he's providing the Tigers. However, Houghton is definitely dominating the action from the offensive side. Crone with the shot, no good. Rolf tries to put back. Crone able to get the rebound. Berger with the three-pointer, no good. And Houghton with the rebound this time. Pushes it into the front court, passes it to DeLucia, who penetrates, gets it out to Green. Houghton for three, in and out. That was halfway down the basket and comes back out. And now Crone is in the front court for the Raiders.
Yeah, Mamaroneck did everything right on that play except get the basket to fall.
Yep, beautiful execution. Just sometimes the ball doesn't go in. Squadron with the shot, rattles around, no good. And Houghton tries for the rebound. Oh, looks like it'll stay here. Rattles off a bunch of hands and last touched by the Tigers. Squadron to inbound the ball. Gets it out to Crone for three. Solid shot from Caleb Crone. The three-pointers are now falling for the Raiders, and that's keeping the game close. A 3-point lead for the Tigers.
Yeah, Scarsdale has been able to hit a couple of threes this half, but their inside game just isn't as strong as it was in the first quarter, or second quarter to be specific.
Houghton with the ball in the corner, gets it into Parkinson. Off his foot and out of bounds. It will be Scarsdale ball.
Scarsdale bench coming alive with 4:30 left in this game.
A 3-point deficit. They definitely feel this game is winnable for them. It's definitely within reach, so they want to try and capture it while they can. Timeout. John Feld wants to organize his offensive set. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back for the final 4 minutes of the matchup between the Scarsdale Raiders and the Mamaroneck Tigers. Mamaroneck clinging to a 3-point lead, 48-45. Squadron with the three-pointer. Nothing but net, and the score is tied.
Squadron has knocked some big shots down in the second half that helped Scarsdale cut the lead.
DeLucia, no good. Houghton looking for the rebound, and Jack Green getting a key offensive rebound for the Tigers. DeLucia looks to set up the offense. He brings it back out, settles things down, and the Tigers will look to execute here. Into Parkinson. Converts, and there was no foul call. Definitely got a piece of the hand on that. Carver is looking for the foul, but he's moved on.
Yeah, Carver's been quite animated this second half, feeling that a couple fouls have not gone their way.
Yep. Scarsdale back to that three-man lead outside the three-point circle. Crone gets it inside to Rolf. Rolf with the travel, he converts on the bench shot, but the shot is waved off. Tigers ball.
Yeah, that's too bad because that was a very hard shot that he managed to pull off.
A nice acrobatic attempt, but apparently he shuffled his feet after he picked up the ball. Jack Green takes a seat, and Budil back into the game. Parkinson, has the ball knocked away by Rolf, and Squadron presses the action and converts on the finger roll. So the score is tied again as we climb under 3 minutes to go in the game.
Sam Squadron really taking over this game for the Huguenots.
For the Raiders, you mean?
Raiders, the Raiders.
Yep.
Hold on.
3-point goal for Miles Houghton. A beautiful shot to reclaim the lead just like that. Timeout on the floor, 2:44 to go, 53-50 Tigers. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. It's a 3-point lead for the Tigers with 2:44
alumni, but I really don't know. The game's pretty close with 2:44 left. Anything can happen.
Both teams are executing pretty well now. We'll just see whose shot is falling as the game comes to a finish. Squadron has the ball on the right side, gets the ball to Crone, overthrows the pass back, but Berger able to corral it and gets it back to Squadron. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. Squadron goes to the rim with the finger roll, unable to convert. Kidden gets the rebound and gets it out to Houghton. DeLucia calls for the ball and they'll settle it down. Definitely do not want to rush the shot here. They need to have a good possession.
Yeah, they're up by 3 at the moment, and there's really no need to rush. They just have to score to make it a little bit harder for Scarsdale to win, which they do.
Beautiful rainbow jumper, running shot from Dean DeLucia, pushes the lead to 5. Up to go for the trap, Kidden unable to execute the steal. Oh, he fouls Landgreva, and probably a good foul at that point.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Landgreva at the line tonight,
but he has hit that bank shot there a couple times. So that was probably a good foul, putting him at the line, not giving up the easy basket.
Exactly.
And the strategy pays off. Landgreva does not hit the first free throw. We'll see what he does with this second one. Short on the second one, and Budil with the defensive rebound. A key rebound as we're under 2 minutes to go in the game. 5-point lead for the Tigers.
Now Mamaroneck calls a timeout. Carver really wants to make sure that everyone is on the same page.
Definitely.
So that they can make sure that this game is out of reach for Scarsdale and go up by 7 with 1:30 left.
We'll be back in just a moment. With 1:36 left in the game, the Tigers have a 5-point lead. Coach Carver had called a timeout to make sure they execute their offensive set. And let's see what they have in store. Nice pass from DeLucia, baseline jumper for Gooden, and it is good. A key baseline jumper from Will Gooden. Exactly what the doctor ordered and exactly what Coach Carver called up.
Yeah, definitely great call by Carver.
Caleb Crone drains the 3 to keep things interesting. We are now at 1 minute left in the game, and it's a 4-point game for the Tigers. Budil brings the ball in the front court, gets it to Houghton, and DeLucia settles it down. It's about 23 and a half seconds left. Difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Caleb Crone, his second personal, team 7.
Scarsdale commits the foul though, which resets that shot clock to 35. So
1 and 1.
Oh, and with that foul, the Tigers go into the bonus. So they will be shooting free throws. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back with 47.5 seconds left in the game. DeLucia at the line for the 1-and-1. Off the rim, and Squadron with the defensive rebound. Mamaroneck with the full court press. Houghton almost able to steal the ball. Squadron into the lane, gets it into Rolf. Not able to convert. Landgreva tries to keep the ball in bounds, unable to do so. Team rebound for the Tigers, and they retain the 4-point lead and have possession of the ball.
Yeah, Scarsdale should look to foul, and they missed their opportunity and give an easy layup for Budil at the other end, pushing this lead even further.
That should do it with the 6-point lead and 20 seconds left. 3-point shot from Crone, no good, and Houghton with the rebound, and the foul by Matt Berger. So with 15.8 seconds left in the game,
Scarsdale foul.
Houghton will be at the line for the 1-and-1.
His first personal, team's 8.
Well, Scarsdale gave the Tigers a big scare in this game, but the execution and athleticism from the Tigers prevails as it looks like they'll be able to wrap it up. If he hits even one of these 2 shots, that'll give them a 7-point lead with under 16 seconds to go in the game. He sinks the first one, and he'll be at the line for the second.
Cash money.
Yep. And the second one rattles home. That makes it an 8-point lead for the Tigers. The clock winds down. Crone with the off-balance 3, no good. Parkinson corrals the rebound. A fitting end for the Tigers as Budil gets it into the front court, and the Tigers will dribble out the clock. So the final score for the Tigers, 61-53.
61. The Scarsdale Raiders 53.
A tough fought battle for the Tigers, but they got the victory that they needed to get well, as we said, against the Raiders. Next up, they have they have 2 days before facing New Rochelle this Friday, and then they'll have an entire week off to prepare for the Mount Vernon Knights. We'll be back in just a moment with the postgame. Back in a moment. So here we are after a hard-fought victory by the Mamaroneck Tigers. The player of the game, Alex Parkinson. Alex, that was a tough game against the Raiders after the first victory that you guys had earlier this season. They definitely gave you a tougher battle.
Yeah, it was definitely a larger lead in the first game. You know, we had them a little bit earlier, but this time we just toughed out and got the win. That was what was important.
I think it was your rebounding that definitely helped add a key. There really was not anyone there to match you on the boards. You were able to spark the offense and keep the Tigers in the game as your offense wasn't really working.
Yeah, you know, I just try and come out there and bring as much energy as I can and try and provide a spark for the team.
Towards the end of the game, as things were wrapped up, I could see your eyes getting really big as that ball was being outlet. They found Budil instead of Parkinson. I know you're looking for that first slam of the season. It didn't come in this game. You do feel it's going to come at some point, though.
I hope so, but definitely excited about the season coming up. So,
all right,
few
so
good games.
You've got a couple of really tough games coming up against New Rochelle on Friday. Then you have a full week off to prepare for Mount Vernon. How do you see those games going?
We're just going to try as tough as we can and see what happens. Got midterms, so we got a lot of practice time. Come back strong.
So we're here with Coach Carver after a hard-fought victory against the Raiders. They definitely gave you much more of a test than they did in the first matchup that you had earlier this season. But this was a game where you could get well before this upcoming slate of tough games.
Yeah, I thought, last time we played them, I thought they played us tough in the first half. We were able to pull away a little bit in the third quarter, but we didn't like the way that we finished that game. But we knew that they were a good quality team, and they came in here and showed that. And boy, number 20 basically kept him on his back for majority of that game. But proud of our guys, the way that we were able to compete and have some big, nice performances by some of our guys tonight.
They show that they're a three-point shooting team, and as we discussed in the broadcast of the first game, when you live by the three, you die by the three. They were definitely living by the three in this game, though, as they were able to keep themselves in the game and even give themselves a nice lead in the third quarter there. But Parkinson's rebounding and your overall composure, I think, is what was the key to the game.
Without a doubt, I thought our point guard, Dean DeLucia, set the table well, with 11 assists. I thought he orchestrated the game very, very well. And then obviously we made shots with Houghton, and also we're finishing inside with Dean, with Will, as well as AP. So it was a nice team performance for us, and it's a good win, good solid win.
Do you have any message for the fans with this quartet of tough games coming up in the next week or two?
Well, we hope that we can get the support. This is a good group of guys that have actually been working themselves very, very hard all year long. I think we got a special group here, so the more the merrier that we can have some people to pack this gym would be very, very good for us.
So that'll wrap things up here from Palmer Avenue Gym. Ted, definitely a tough, tight battle between the Raiders and the Tigers today. What were your thoughts on today's game?
Well, going into the game, I thought that was going to be a cakewalk, and as you did too, and it clearly was not that. The Tigers were tested by Scarsdale, but they prevailed. Dean had 11 assists, Alex Parkinson had a plethora of rebounds.
Had to be over a dozen, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Miles Harden was shooting lights out from behind the arc and inside, as well as having 4 steals in the first half. So the team played phenomenally, although they did hit a rough patch, but they were able to overcome and get the win that they needed and deserved.
So that'll do it here from Palmer Avenue Gym at Mamaroneck High School. For Josh Policano and BJ Persampieri and Rob Moretti, this is Ted Magram, and I'm Steve Anastas. Thank you very much.